The 788th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at Underdog Fantasy using promo code MMA SGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. And we're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Get up to $750 in cashback rewards each month when you sign up at edgeboost.bet and use promo code SGPN.
Heidi ho, degenerinos. Welcome to episode 788, I believe. Correct. 788 of the MMA Gambling Podcast, dedicated to Ron Medkiff and Ariz Teka, who both think that we talk too much on the show, which is interesting since that's what you do on podcasts. You talk. Maybe we should have sign language from now on. We can learn, I guess. But anyhow, thanks for your input. That's very, very nice of you. Thanks for watching. Hate watching still counts as a watch. Thank you for coming to the show, everyone else. I'm Jeff Pussy Fox, and we are covering RIZIN 50. RIZIN, very good Japanese promotion. Actually, when I was looking it over, had a question came in and popped in my head. I'm going to ask my co-host, Danny Gumby Breathing right now. Does RIZIN have a better roster than one?
I think it's got a better MMA roster than one now. I think secretly, I think one is just giving up on MMA. I really do believe that. And I know that there's all the jokes about, do they have any money? Do they have a lot of money? Do they have like really dirty money? Like nobody knows really for sure, right? But like they let Rene DeRieder walk, right? Mm-hmm. And they've let other guys walk since then who are, people who you would assume they want to lock down and who aren't looking to fight at Rene DeRieder, I think fought for UAE Warriors right after he fought for one. So like, yeah. He wasn't making one and more at UAE Warriors than he was in one. There's no way. So, like, it was a move that he felt like he had to make out of necessity. So, I think they're getting out of MMA. But, yeah, like, in terms of MMA rosters, definitely. RIZIN's got a better roster. Certainly a more recognizable roster to me. Although 6 billion people don't watch them. But yeah, it's a good roster.
Yes. No, I was just thinking when I was going through this here fight card. So it's not all Japanese fighters that we're going to be covering today. We got Canadians, we got Americans, we got Uzbekistan, I think. So yeah, it's they're drawing from all over. So yeah, I was just thinking we cover RIZIN way more than one because they do more they're strictly MMA basically, or almost strictly MMA.
They do mixed rules sometimes.
Yeah,
mixed rules promotion. Yeah.
They're the closest thing we got to Pride right now, basically. But yeah, they have a good event coming up that we're going to be covering. Obviously, it is RIZIN 50. It's going down on March the 29th. I don't even think I mentioned last episode when LFA was happening. They're both happening. Actually, LFA is Friday, right? And this one's Saturday, I believe. Correct. Well, yeah. Saturday night, 11 p.m. So it'll be Sunday afternoon in Japan where it is taking place. All right, we're going to give you winning picks because that's what we do. Before we do that, reminder, if you haven't already, make sure you download our app, SGPN app. You can get all our picks, all our podcasts, all our articles, all our giveaways, contests, promo codes, all the good stuff in our app. So download the SGPN app wherever you get your apps. All right, so RIZIN 50 is what we're covering, as I said off the top. It's going down on Saturday, 11 p.m. Eastern, so Saturday night. When's the UFC this week? It's in Mexico, so do you know what time it starts at off the top of your head?
I think it's like it's a fight night one, but it's not like a super early fight night one. My guess would be like 5 or 6. So it's like it'll probably be done just in time for you to get ready for RIZIN.
Perfect. And RIZIN is you watch your pay-per-view off their site if you're doing it legally, correct?
Correct.
It's internet pay-per-view. All right, Saturday, 11 p.m. If you want to go to it, Anabuki Arena, Kagawa in Kagawa, Japan. 13 MMA bouts, 4 kickboxing bouts, so you will get your money worth of MMA and or fisticuffs of every kind. All right, we're kicking things off with a Canadian, Tony Laramie. I assume the brother of TJ Laramie, correct?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
He was actually supposed to fight another Canadian brother 2 fights ago. He was supposed to fight Luis Jourdain. Of Charles Jourdain in a very exciting. I was like so hyped on it. I think we even broke it down.
We did break it down. I remember now.
Yeah. And then I was like colossally bummed out when one of them dropped out.
Yep. These things happen in MMA though sometimes. And Laramie is going to be over in Japan now. He's fighting Yuki Ito from Japan. They're fighting 3 5-minute rounds at 130 pounds. They're both normally flyweights, but I guess they're cutting less weight here. No odds yet, but RIZIN's another one that you can find odds for pretty much everywhere, right?
Yep.
I've seen it everywhere, all around. Your offshores and your onshore books. All right, Laramie is 10-2, 6 knockouts. He's been submitted 1 time. He's 1-0 in RIZIN. He's won 8 straight fights. He's not lost since December 2017. He has multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get a shirt, get a merch, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Try the code MADNESS at checkout. Use Fed at 125 and 135, 1-0 in pro boxing, 0-1 in pro grappling, 2 years younger than Ito. Ito is 17-5, 8 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once. 7-1 in RIZIN. He's won 4 straight. Before that, he lost 2 straight. TKO win in his last bout. A regional champ. He's fed at 125. A 5 inch to height, an inch to reach over Laramie.
So I'm going to say in this one, Laramie is the favorite. I'm going to go like -175. Ito's got a pretty big following over there in Japan. Might keep it kind of close. And I'm going to go with Laramie. I was watching back some of the tape on Ito, and like the thing that stuck out to me in terms of his striking, he's a guy who loves his hands to be low, likes to throw this like long, rangy jab to sort of, keep his opponent at bay. But then like the problem is that like he wants to keep his opponent at bay with that long, rangy jab, and then he like rushes in for a clinch. So like what are you doing? Why are you setting it up like that if that's not what you want to do? And it might be just that like those are his best weapons, so he just uses them. And with Laramie, like I think he's gonna eat a lot of those jabs early on. Like it might even make you panic if you've got a Laramie ticket in your pocket. But like the bottom line is he's going to eat a lot of those jabs and he's going to land a power shot. This dude punches harder than I think most 125ers you're going to see out there. He generates a lot of power from his hips and throwing hooks and stuff like that. And so like Ito, after he throws one of those long jabs to try to keep him at range and he hastily closes the distance, he's going to get popped with something. Like on top of that, like even if Ito makes it to the clinch, I don't think he's got super great takedowns. Like I've seen him kind of, he's tried some like foot sweep stuff that doesn't really work. And, I've seen him try to get lower, but his entries are so high. They don't look particularly good. And really like in his last fight, he fought, what was it? Jung-Hyun Lee, who was on road to the UFC. I think he lost to Mark Homako, if you remember that. Yep. And he fought that guy and he just got peppered on the feet, and like he'd throw the jab and he'd land 1 out of every 2, but then he'd get hit with some sort of counter, and Jung-Hyun Lee couldn't knock him out because he doesn't have that crazy knockout power. Laramie I think will. I don't think he can eat that many counters off of Laramie and not take a nap for it. So I'll take Tony Laramie here. Super high on him as a prospect. Kind of bummed he wound up in RIZIN because that doesn't always lend itself to coming over to the UFC, but he would be a great addition to the UFC's flyweight division.
Well, let's get it done. Let's get him at least to Contender Series. All right. So he must be good. Gummy picked him and he's Canadian, so that means he's extra. He's extra good because he got past his bias. All right. So he's got Laramie. We're going to 157 pounds now, so basically lightweight. 3 5-minute rounds. Spike Carlyle, a name you may remember. He is from the United States. Takeshi Izumi from Japan. 3 5-minute rounds lightweight. Not Izumi. It is Izumi. Excuse me. Izumi. Izumi is 5-3. No finishes. They were all decisions. All 5 wins were decisions. He's been knocked out twice himself. 0-1 in RIZIN. He's 5-1 over his last 6. Lost his last fight via TKO. 0-1 is pro grappler and inch height over Carlyle. Carlyle is the Alpha Ginger. Is that a new nickname? The Alpha?
No, he was always the Alpha Ginger. Yeah.
I never knew he was the head of the Gingers, but apparently he is. Is there like an election? Do they fight for it? How do they? Do you know anything about this?
I mean, I think
Ginger elections.
Only so many Gingers that fight. I think he just gets to claim the name until somebody beats him that's more ginger than him.
It's true, and he's a tough guy to beat. He's 15-6, 6 knockouts, 8 submissions. He's never been finished in a fight. 2-2 in RIZIN, 1-3 over his last 4. He did win his last fight though via submission. 1-2 in UFC, 1-1 in Bellator. He's fed at 145 and 165. Has missed weight before at 155. So hopefully the extra couple pounds in Japan will help him out there. 4 years younger than Izumi.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Carlyle. I think he's going to be like a -250 favorite here, and I don't mind paying that price for him because if you watch Izumi, you mentioned he's got no finishing power whatsoever. He's won almost all of his fights by being just like a grinder. Getting the guy in the clinch, putting him up against the ropes, not cage, putting him up against the ropes, dragging the fight to the ground slowly, trying to wear them down. And like, if you've watched Carlyle, like that's kind of what he does. And granted, he's got much better hands, Carlyle does, but like he prefers to bring that grinding style and he brings like an exciting version of it, but like he's a grinder. He's really physically strong. He's nice in the clinch. And he also has like a little bit of pop in the hand. So I think that'll be the difference maker here is I don't think Izumi can bring the game he wants to bring against Carlyle because, Carlyle can match it. And then if it winds up being a stalemate in that version of the game, I think Carlyle absolutely wrecks him on the feet. So the other thing is like Izumi, who, I have seen him like land some punches, but the biggest problem is he likes to stand switch. And when he does, he gets caught a lot with his feet even. Like he's just standing square to his opponent, which is a really good way to get taken down or a really good way to eat a shot that your body's not ready for. So between that and like not being able to use the grind game that he wants, I think this one's all Carlyle. So give me Spike Carlyle.
There's nothing in your breakdown about him being an alpha ginger either. So that's extra, right?
Yeah, that's just a bonus.
Yeah, it is the bonus, the cherry on top. All right, did you give us a number?
I said like negative 250.
Okay, gotcha. All right, alpha ginger is the pick. Before we dive into more wing picks, no more nicknames that are good. We have one more nickname, and it's a boring common nickname, sadly. Let me tell you about DraftKings. When it comes to college basketball and March Mania, one thing is for sure. Nothing's for sure. Upsets, buzzer beaters, Cinderella's advancing, top seeds going home early. It's all going to happen. Bet the unexpected every upset every day with DraftKings Sportsbook. With live betting, exclusive content, promos, and parlays, DraftKings is the ultimate college basketball destination for March. First time, here's something special just for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly, so you can make Al Horford plays. Bet the unexpected with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SGP. That's code SGP for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. All right, professional man, tell us more information.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Thank you, professional announcer dude. All right, Rhythm. Rhythm is your home for AI picks and props. Rhythm is already off to a great start, helping you dominate March Madness. Building your own custom model is easy and profitable. Plus, they got models for NBA, college, and coming soon, MLB. You're going to check out the Al Horford plays there, obviously, but check out all those other sports as well when you're on there. And when you do go to check out Rhythm, make sure you sign up today for a 7-day free trial by going here, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And back to Japan we go. We are sticking with lightweights, so 157. Luiz Gustavo from Brazil. Shunta Nomura from Japan. Let's break her down. Nomura, 8-2 with 4 knockouts. He has never been finished himself. This is his debut. He's won 3 straight. He is a regional champ. He's a year younger than Gustavo. Gustavo is killer. What a great nickname. 14-3, 7 knockouts, 5 submissions. He's been knocked out twice. 6-3 in RIZIN. He's won 4 of his last 5. Did get TKO'd in his last fight, though. Used to fight at 135 and 145. 2014 pro MMA debut. An inch of height over Nomura.
So I think Luiz Gustavo is going to be a big favorite here. Probably in like the negative 250 range. Probably plus 225 on the return for Nomura. And I'm going to go underdog here for the first time on the card. And the big reason is like, so I think Gustavo is going to be a favorite, slightly better record, recently having fought for the RIZIN title, right? He's coming off that loss to Roberto Satoshi, who's the champ right now at lightweight. But the problem is like, go back and watch that fight with Roberto Satoshi. And good news, you only have to spend 21 seconds doing so. Because he gets knocked out by Roberto Satoshi. Knocked out by this isn't skipping and repeating. I just want to make sure everybody hears this. He got knocked out by Roberto Satoshi, and that is a huge problem here. Because the thing about Nomura is, like maybe he's not the most technical striker, but he packs a hell of a punch. He's real wild early in fights while he's trying to find range. He's like basically like, I'm just gonna throw as many punches as I possibly can until one of them lands, and then he's locked in on range. And for that, what I really like about that is then once he's locked in on range, he really dials in what the strikes are. He throws a really nice, quick 1-2. And when he's straight to his target and he's moving forward, that's when he's particularly deadly. So he starts with this kind of like wild, sort of slap hazard approach, and he comes in with like a sick 1-2 afterwards. I've seen issues with his takedown defense, but as I just mentioned, like Gustavo is like, I don't know, not a world beater when it comes to grappling in the first place. Like he's got a little bit of grappling chops, but I think he'd rather strike. But he also just got knocked out by Roberto Satoshi.
Oh, here we go again.
And like that is a problem for me when you're fighting a guy who's got power like Nomura. So, I'll take Nomura here. Hopefully he comes in as a decent size underdog, being that Gustavo has just fought for the belt.
All right. Why are you so down on Nomura? Did something happen in the past with him?
You mean Gustavo?
Oh, Gustavo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you so down?
He got knocked out by Roberto Satoshi.
Oh, well, why didn't you? You should have told the people that. You can't keep things like that to yourself.
Yeah. You guys should go watch it. All 21 seconds of getting knocked out by Roberto Satoshi.
And then did he yell "Jiu-Jitsu"? Who was that?
I mean, they probably was it? They probably gave him his 3rd degree black belt or something like that. Like that is, by the way, one of my number one pet peeves in MMA. Who is it recently that got it? Was it JJ Aldrich?
Yeah. I think she did get it. Yeah.
She got taken down once in the fight, which was the only time they hit the mat. She got back up and didn't get submitted. Black belt. And I'm not saying she doesn't deserve a black belt.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like nothing you watched in that fight is the reason why she got a black belt.
Yeah. It was Vitor Belfort that would yell jiu-jitsu after knocking people out, wasn't it? I think it was.
Yeah, I think you're right. that tracks based on
who it is,
based on who he is and the limited interactions I've had with Vitor Belfort in my life. I would buy that. Yeah.
All right, co-main event. It is at 146. So featherweight, Chihiro Suzuki from Japan, Karshyga Dautbek. He's from Kyrgyzstan. 3 5-minute rounds at 146. We'll tell you about Dautbek first. 17-3, 14 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out twice. He owes his rounds. 3-1 in RIZIN. He's won 9 straight. He's not lost since March of 2019. He's fought at 135. 2015 pro MMA debut. Suzuki 13-4 with 1 no contest, 7 knockouts, 1 submission. He has been knocked out once. He's 8-2 with 1 no contest in RIZIN. He is the former champion of the promotion. He's gone 2-1 over his last 3, 8-1-1 over his last 10. He did lose his last fight. He used to fight at 125 and 155. 7-1 in kickboxing and a champion there professionally. 4-0 as a Muay Thai fighter professionally. 1-0 in shoot to box. 6 years younger than Dautbek, an inch taller, 3 inches of reach.
So I thought this is one of those fights, and if you guys have been following our regional coverage, you know this happens once in a while, where I really thought the line would come in on one particular side, and then my expert friends who are in the know with the sports book seem to think that the line will come in the other way. So I thought Dautbek, like -150 would be the line, and I'm hearing maybe Suzuki -150. So we're just going to talk about this fight as if it's a pick'em. Right. If it's a pick'em, I like Suzuki. If it's negative, if I could line it myself, like if I was trying to protect myself, I would line it at Suzuki, 140, 150. I was hoping he would come in as a dog due to the public perception. You got a guy coming from Kyrgyzstan who, those, is it Kazakhstan or Kyrgyzstan? Kazakhstan.
I think it's Kurtz. I said Kurtz, but I'm probably wrong.
I think it's Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan. Yep.
Yeah. You got a guy coming in from Kazakhstan and, he's got a decent wrestling game and he's fighting a Japanese fighter who, Japan has like good wrestling over there too. But like, this guy comes from a kickboxing background. So like, I thought Dautbek would be the favorite. I was like, cool, I'll take Suzuki as an underdog because he does a lot of things that I really like that I think can tag Dautbek. So Dautbek throws this like left jab to the body. I've noticed him throwing it over and over and over again. And when he does, he's really long with his body doing so. And it leaves his chin susceptible to right hooks, which just so happens to be one of the best punches that Suzuki throws. He throws like a very mean counter or check right hook, depending on the situation that he's got it in. And like Dautbek seems like primed to eat one of those. And then the other thing I like about this fight is like, I'm kind of just down on the fight IQ of Dautbek. Like, I know this is a guy who can wrestle and he's up against a kickboxer. But like in the past, the only times I've ever really seen him try to wrestle, it seems like he waits until he has officially decided he's the worst striker in the fight. And it takes him like 3 or 4 minutes to decide he's not as good of a striker. Or like I've seen another fight where just when he starts to get tired, he's like, okay, I don't want to strike anymore. I'll wrestle now because it takes less of my energy. And like, okay, so that's an okay strategy depending on who you're fighting. But when you're fighting a kickboxer with big KO power, you can't play with your food. You have to go after it. And so like, I'm down on the fight IQ with Dautbek. And I also just think that perfect counter is there for Suzuki. He's really fast on the feet. He does a good job of getting in and out too, which might help him in terms of defending the takedown. He like gets back out of range. So I'm going to go with Chihiro Suzuki. I think ultimately the takedowns won't come early enough and he'll land one of those knockout blows.
All right. As for the topology people, I think it's 63% Suzuki. So yeah, 63%.
Okay, so
Suzuki.
They're with the people who I know who are in the know. And maybe I'm wrong on this one, but I really did think the Kazakh guy with good wrestling against the kickboxer would come in as the favorite, but who knows?
Who knows? All right. We're going to go to the main event in a second. First, I have to tell you about some more exciting sponsors of ours. Underdog Fantasy. It's time for Gumby's bonus underdog. Pick 'em, play underdog. Pick 'em. You can play any sport and win up to 100 times your money. All right, let her rip, Gumby.
Yeah, on Monday, I'll take the rebounds on Nikola Vucevic. I know this is beating a dead horse a little bit, but the guy, is a double machine in the first place, but also they've been projecting him at only 8.5 rebounds, sometimes 9.5 rebounds lately. I think they're worried about Zach Collins coming in and stealing a bunch of rebounds, but Collins has been relegated to a much less prominent role in the last few games as the Bulls get ready for the playoffs. That's right. They're going to the playoffs, or at least the play-in game. And I'll take the higher than on Nikola Vucevic's rebounds.
All righty. They're going to the playoffs. The Bulls are going to the play-in. The Bulls are... That's who the plan's built for. The Bulls, because they're perennial. Never mind. Perennially. Why can't I say perennially in the play-in? Anyhow, sign up with our code MMA SGPN. Claim your special pick and first time deposit. Offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code MMA SGPN. I melted down during that. Showed the people the robot that I am. Edge Boost. SGPN is partnered up with Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for bettors. An Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook, DFS site, sweepstakes site, racetrack, or casino. Plus, you can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. You know your money is safe as the card is FDIC insured. Best part is no credit checks and it's completely free. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. All right, main event before I stop pronouncing all words. It's for the RIZIN Bantamweight Championship. The champ is Naoki Inoue versus Yuki Motoya, both from Japan. 3 5-minute rounds. Then you do 3 rounds. Is that correct? Have we talked about this before? And I'm forgetting.
I feel like we've talked about this before, and I feel like the answer is yes.
Okay, good. That's what Tapology says. 3 5-minute rounds, 134. Let's break it down. Challenger first, Motoya, 37-12 with 1 no contest, 8 knockouts, 14 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times, submitted 3 times, 12-7 with 1 no contest in RIZIN. He's won 3 straight and 4 of 6. Multiple region championships on his.
Mantle.
Correct. Get a shirt, get a merch, get a gear. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Madness is your code at checkout. Used to fight at 125, 2010 pro MMA debut. The champ, Inoue, 18-4, 2 knockouts, 9 submissions. He's never been finished in a fight. 8-2 in RIZIN and the current champion. He's won 2 straight and 3 of 5. TKO win in his last bout. 1-1 in the UFC. Used to fight at 125, 2015 pro MMA debut. He got a draw in his one pro grappling fight that we have the results for. 8 years younger than Motoya, an inch taller, 3 inches of reach.
And a crucial miss on Jeff Fox's point.
Oh, it's a rematch for real.
It's a rematch.
Okay, tell the people.
I want to say New Year's Eve 2020. Okay. I think it was their New Year's Eve card. And Inoue won by, I want to say, rear naked choke. And like the bottom line for me is, if you watch that fight and even their subsequent fights, even after fighting each other, the book is pretty clear on how these two fight, right? Motoya might be a little bit faster on the feet, but the length of Inoue is just like a huge frustrating factor for anybody. This dude is so long for bantamweight. He was so long for flyweight when he was down there, but he's even long at bantamweight. Hits a long jab, really sharp with his strikes, frustrates the hell out of you with the stuff he's doing to keep that range and to manage that range. And then when somebody shoots in, it's like particularly hard for them to shoot in because they're so far away from him. And then when they do, if it's a bad shot, his counter jiu-jitsu is just so good. Like he scrambles better than most people at this weight class. He takes the back. He's got the good submissions. That's what happened to Motoya last time. Like, he got frustrated with the striking. He shot a bad takedown. He got his back taken. He got submitted. And like, Inoue has done that with a lot of people. The only exception, the people who are out there beating the Inoues, it pretty much just comes down to people who can wrestle particularly well. You know, I think if I'm remembering correctly, he lost to Hiromasa Ogikobu, who is just like a really good wrestler too. And just like people like that. It's like superlative wrestlers are the type of guy who get by Inoue. I don't think of Motoya as that. I think of him as a guy who's got decent wrestling to go along with the striking, which is the thing he'd prefer to do. Although he's won kind of his last couple of fights by wrestling. So I think he's going to try to get that wrestling going maybe a touch earlier, but I think that range of Inoue is just going to be too much. And you know, for the record, since they fought the last time, obviously they have both changed, but Inoue has had a lot more room to grow because he's so young, right? Like, this guy was in the UFC way before he belonged to the UFC. And like, so he's so young and he's still growing kind of a lot. And we've seen that with the development of his striking and the development of his range control. And I think that's just going to be too much for Motoya here. So give me Naoki Inoue.
All right. Did you give us a number? Do you remember?
I think I said, if I didn't say it, but I'll say it again. If I did, I think I said like -250.
Okay, cool. Do you remember what it was last? I probably could look that up, but I didn't know it was a rematch, or I would have looked that up.
5 years ago.
Oh, yeah, maybe we don't have odds for that.
And Inoue was pretty young then too. So like, I got to imagine it was, and like, you know, Motoya is one of those guys with 400 fights on his record, you know, that I can't quite figure out why he has that many, but
yeah, we don't have it.
Yeah,
but
if we did, I would imagine Motoya was a favorite the first time.
Okay. All right. Let's give you a quick recap, and then we're going to get you bonus plays. Don't you worry. Inoue, he's got Suzuki, right? Yeah, Suzuki. What was the number for that one? Sorry, I don't know why I don't have that in my
I said even money. That's the one where I couldn't figure out. Yeah, I was having a tough time.
All right. Nomura as a dog, hopefully. A big dog. Carlyle, probably as a favorite. And then Laramie as a small favorite. At the very, hopefully. Worst case scenario. All right, lightning round. Zap Bamboo and Pow, Gumby.
All right, for the first one, I'm going to take a guy who I took in the lightning round last time we did RIZIN, or maybe 2 times ago, and that's Ed Polo King. He's the one who is like this very tall, very powerful heavyweight. He looked not great in his last fight, but did pick up the win. He's now a 1-0 heavyweight, and he's going to be fighting a big sloppy fatty who's like a big 14-12 guy. And I think it's like set up for him to get like a notable win. The other one I'm going to take is Maki Fukuda. She is a 115 pounder. But I really love her takedowns and her top control. You know, she's got a lot of submission game that I think is going to bode well for her. So I'm going to take the heavyweight Ed Polo King in the strawweight Maki Fukuda.
All right. You are all set now for RIZIN 50 this coming weekend. Hit us up in the Discord. Chat RIZIN, chat whatever you want with us. We're at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. You can also chat with us on YouTube. Our account is our channel, I guess it would be called, would be MMA Gambling Podcast. On the Twitter, SGPN MMA, he's at Gumby Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer there and on Instagram. Check out my Substack. Enter my free UFC Pick'em contest for this coming weekend at moneymma.substack.com. Check out Gumby's Top Turtle MMA podcast. He has very interesting people on it, always, including this week.
Vince Morales, who's fighting at UFC Mexico, a whole, I think, 5 weeks after his last fight.
Because he was just on your show, right?
Yeah, he was just on my show. We'll do it again. And then I'm also talking to UFC and IFL legend Vladimir Matyushenko,
a former victim of John Jones when John Jones was on.
We talk a little John Jones. John Jones.
When John Jones was just a young, skinny bones. All right, so check out Top Turtle. And, of course, sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Try the code MADNESS, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon to get bonus content. And when you sign up for Underdog Fantasy, make sure you use our code. What's that code again, Gumby?
MMA SGPN. No, SGPN MMA.
There you go. I don't know either. SGPN, yes. It's the opposite of our YouTube. So whatever I said for YouTube,
no, opposite of our
Twitter. Anyhow. All right. Gumby, bid the people farewell.
All right, I'm Danny Gumby Freeland. He's the alpha bald guy, Jeff Fox, and we will see you tomorrow.
That's